celebrate Shark Week with these apex predators from the NFC East. By definition, apex predators exist at the very top of food chains and play critical roles in their ecosystem. Daniels thrashed the FBS by throwing for 3,812 yards and 40 touchdowns in 2023 with another 1,134 yards and 10 scores on the ground. As the reigning Heisman Trophy winner and number 2 pick in this year's draft, Daniels' performance will be critical to the Commanders' success as they look to rebuild in 2024. Micah Parsons, LB, Dallas Cowboys. Ask anyone who saw the movie Jaws during its theatrical release, and they'll probably tell you they still look for sharks before going into the ocean. Ask an offensive coordinator who they fear on the Cowboys' defense, and they'll definitely say it's Parsons. Parsons has averaged 13.5 sacks per year since joining the team as the 12th overall pick in 2021. His 40.5 sacks earned him 2 All-Pro nods at a cost of 324 yards to opposing offenses. Still just 25 years old, Parsons shows no signs of slowing down. After going belly-to-belly with a sumo wrestler in 2023, the Cowboys linebacker has been working with boxing instructor Tony Mack this offseason. The Cowboys know where to find Micah Parsons. Their hybrid DE has kept in contact while training with local boxing instructor Tony Mack. Catching up with Parsons, who says he is focused on strengthening his spirit, body, and mind. Contrary to popular opinion, most sharks hunt individually rather than in packs. Burns certainly had no problem leaving a 2-15 Panthers team in an off-season trade with the Giants, but a new 5-year, $141 million deal certainly helped. Burns helped himself to 151 solo tackles, 46 sacks, and 8 forced fumbles in 5 seasons with Carolina. He and Giants linebacker Kayvon Thibodeaux each had 50 tackles last year, though Thibodeaux finished 2023 with 3.5 more sacks. Don't take the bait. With $76 million in guaranteed money, second most on the team, Burns is clearly the big fish in Gotham City's pond. Although sharks have been around for 450 million years, much about them remains a mystery. The same can be said about the Eagles' enigmatic edge rusher. Huff had just 7.5 sacks in his first 3 seasons as a Jet, but he led the team with 10 last season. He did so playing just 42% of the team's defensive snaps, 32% fewer than his predecessor Haason Reddick, who logged 862 snaps and 11.5 sacks before an off-season trade with the Jets. Huff certainly knows how to attack a quarterback, but will his numbers dip in a more prominent role with Philadelphia? With their regular season set to begin on September 6, Eagles fans should know in a matter of months, as opposed to hundreds of millions of years. Figuring out OT depth chart will be a Cowboys priority in training camp. The Cowboys' offensive line will command a lot of attention during training camp. In a little less than a month, on July 24, the Dallas Cowboys report to training camp in Oxnard, California. They have no shortage of things they need to figure out prior to the start of the 2024 NFL season, but a huge priority should be identifying Tyron Smith's replacement at left tackle and filling out the rest of the depth chart at offensive tackle. The only thing we really know about the Cowboys' offensive tackle position as things stand right now is Terrence Steele will return as the starter on the right side. Who ends up stepping in for Tyron Smith as the new starting blindside protector and how the remainder of the depth chart falls into place will be an important part of solving the puzzle of the 2024 roster. Surprisingly enough, the Cowboys have options aplenty who will be heavily scrutinized in practice at training camp as well as in the preseason at offensive tackle. They would absolutely love it if Tyler Guyton, this year's first-round pick, 29th overall, emerged as the surefire starter at left tackle, but given his lack of experience it still isn't a sure thing. Guyton made only 14 career starts during his time at Oklahoma, 13 at right tackle and 1 at left tackle. Asking him to immediately step in as a rookie for Tyron Smith is a lot of pressure to put on a first-year player, especially one with very little experience at the position even in college. But, fingers remain crossed, that's exactly what happens. If Guyton isn't ready to step in as the starting left tackle, the Cowboys may have to get creative. That's especially true if they want to keep Tyler Smith as their starting left guard. If either of those two aren't options, Dallas may have to turn to their veteran utility offensive lineman Chuma Edoga, last year's swing OT/OG. Edoga played a total of 420 offensive snaps, 312 at LT, 101 at LG, 6 at TE, last year with the Dallas Cowboys according to Pro Football Focus, PFF. Other than Tyler Smith, he is the most experienced OT currently on the Cowboys roster. Despite the experience he holds over others on the roster, he is best served to play a backup role once again in 2024. Beyond Edoga, the Cowboys' other options to not only potentially replace Tyron Smith as a new starting LT, but to also fill out the depth chart, don't inspire much confidence. In fact, the remaining options are downright scary to think about in any kind of significant role, either as a starter or primary backup. A veteran option may be needed. Seeing as how left tackle is arguably the most important position in the league outside of quarterback, the Cowboys can't afford not to find an adequate replacement for Tyron Smith. Sorting out all of this mess and figuring out who fits where on the OT depth chart will be a huge priority in training camp. Dak Prescott injury rumor claims Cowboys star not 100%, had MRI. Dallas Cowboys star Dak Prescott is not 100%, according to unconfirmed rumors that suggest the quarterback had an MRI. The Dallas Cowboys are a few weeks away from the start of training camp in Oxnard, California. It's the slow period of the offseason as we wait for teams to get back onto the field, but with the Cowboys, there is never a shortage of drama. The latest twist of the Cowboys' offseason centers around star quarterback Dak Prescott. No, it has nothing to do with his contract. According to Pro Sports bettor Steve Fezzik, unconfirmed rumors about Prescott's health are circulating. Fezzik claimed on the Ross Tucker podcast there is buzz that Prescott is not 100%. He also claims that the signal caller underwent an MRI. If that is genuinely the buzz going around, it makes sense that pro bettors are hammering the under and dropping the line for Dallas win total. However, there has been very little buzz about such a rumor outside of this little podcast nugget, so take everything with a grain of salt. Athlon Sports reports a team insider said, "Don't waste your time on the non-story." For now, the rumor is just that. A podcast soundbite that will generate some discussion until players are actually on the field for training camp. That time can't come soon enough. The Dallas Cowboys will jet off to the West Coast on Tuesday, July 23rd, before the opening press conference the following day. The team's first training camp practice is Thursday, July 25th.